Okay. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see me draw that cabinet in the back, but it's just lines of height, width, and depth. Right now, I'm going to show you an interesting thing you can do with circles using one-point perspective. So first, I'm going to start off by just drawing a square. To find the exact center of the square, you would draw a line from corner to corner and then draw another line corner to the other two corners. And this tells you exactly where the center of the square is, where those two lines meet. So a horizontal line going through that center divides the box top and bottom, and a vertical line going right through that center divides it, right side, left side. So let's draw some lines of depth on the square and turn it into a box. So from the corners, I'm going to draw lines going toward the vanishing point. Now remember, the back of the box is parallel to the front of the box. So regardless of where those lines you just drew end, the back of the box has to be a horizontal line parallel to the front. And the back side of the box has to be a vertical line parallel to the front of the box. And if you have excess line, you can just erase those. All right, now let's put a circle in the front of this box. The circle will hit the points on the side and the top and the bottom right in the center, and it hits those diagonal lines about 2/3 of the way up those lines. So using those lines, you can create kind of a nice perfect circle right on the side of the box. Now, how would that circle look with depth? Well, on the side of the box, you do the same process. You connect corner to corner, just the way I did on the front. Then you draw a vertical line going right through that center. But now, in order to divide the box from top to bottom, you have to go through that center point, but it has to go toward the vanishing point. Now, if you follow the same process, you can create what appears to be a circle, but kind of in a position where it's moving away from you. Now, this would be handy if you're drawing something like a car. So again, the top of the circle has to hit those points, and then where it hits the diagonals, remember, it's about 2/3 of the way on that diagonal. To make a circle on top of the box, you follow the same process. Corner to corner. Horizontal line now going through the center, and then dividing that toward the vanishing point, dividing it from right to left. And you can now draw a circle on the top of the box, giving the appearance that it's moving away from you. Now you can erase those excess lines after you've drawn the circles. So the top circle is handy if you're drawing something like a cup or a jar, and you want to make the top of it look circular, but in perspective. This could be the technique that you would use. And then you just erase your guidelines. Now, another thing people use the perspective for is showing things going off into the distance, like a picket fence or a sidewalk or something like that has sections. We know these sections get smaller and smaller and closer together the farther off into the distance they go. And I see a lot of students just try to eyeball that. But there is kind of a trick so that you can get the distances of objects correct and consistent. So let's say we wanted to make the sides of this box continue off into the distance, but we wanted to show a consistent distance for each box. So let's draw our lines of depth going off into the distance. Now, the side of the box, from the front side to the back side, this was the degree of the line we used to go from corner to corner. If you use that same angle, draw that same diagonal, it will let you know where to put the next line. And then again, you copy that angle, move it forward, and it lets you know where to draw the next line. And you can just continue this process, and it will show you how far apart to make your objects in order to make them appear that while they look like they're getting closer and closer together, because they're going off into the distance, it makes them look like they're the same distance apart. And you could do the same process if you were drawing a sidewalk, and you wanted to know how far apart to make the lines showing each section of the sidewalk. So that's kind of it. I want you to experiment with 1-point perspective for a while. If you guys get the hang of it, we can start looking at 2-point perspective, maybe even 3-point perspective. So yeah,